Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I want to talk about, can you make a relationship with a narcissist work? I have a lot of people that ask this question and want to know, well, is there any way to make it work? I have kids with this person and it's not that easy to just pick up and leave and everything like that. It really depends on you. It depends on you, and it depends on the type of narcissist you're working with. Because you got to understand something. Narcissism is on a spectrum. So it depends on how narcissistic a person you're dealing with. We all can be narcissistic at times or have narcissistic characteristics, where we can be selfish. But it depends on, how selfish a person you're dealing with or if they're completely unbearable. It depends on who you are and who that other person is, okay? And if the two of you can kind of, make it work. When you're dealing with somebody who's very, very narcissistic, in other words, a real nitpicker, okay? They always have something to say or criticize you and judge you. That person is going to damage who you are. They're going to make you feel low. They're going to give you anxiety. They're going to give you depression, and they're going to affect your health. So it really depends on, how abusive they could be. You shouldn't be with anybody that's abusive. But if you're dealing with somebody with just a few narcissistic, traits or something like that, that's one thing. And, some people can forgive and some people can't. It's like when you're dealing with a cheater. Some people can forgive the cheater and some people can't. So you have to know yourself. You have to know, what you could live with and be happy and what you can't. I mean, if you're dealing with somebody who's just running with it, they're staying out all night, they don't even bother to call you or anything like that, that person is just going to make you completely miserable. But if you're dealing with somebody who you feel like, can work a little bit with you or respect your boundaries, that's another story. The problem with a narcissist is they don't take accountability. They don't think that anything they do is wrong. And they always flip the switch on you and tell you, it's you are the problem. All right. That's what makes it so difficult. They never own anything. So, I've had people say to me, well, there is no perfect person and I've been with this person a long time, and to just walk away and start all over and have to deal with somebody else who's got a lot of issues. Everybody's got issues, right? But there's issues and there's issues. And like I said, it depends on how miserable you are, okay? And how this person is treating you and treating the children as well. You've got to think about the welfare of your children too. If you're in a relationship and you have children, you've got to think about their mental health and being around somebody that maybe you're arguing with all the time. That's not healthy for children to see that. So, sometimes it takes courage to, leave somebody, even if you've been with them a long time. Like I said, it depends on you. It depends on how long you've been with that person. You've also got to understand this. A lot of people that have been with a narcissist for a while, all of a sudden they want to put in these boundaries. And that narcissist is not going to follow those boundaries. They may be, okay for a little while, but then they're going to revert back to their old ways. And why is that? Because that's what they've been allowed to do all those years. And now you're coming along and saying, well, if you don't change, I'm out of here. It's very hard for a narcissist to do a complete 180 and, be that perfect person and not be, selfish and everything after they've done it for so long. Most of the time, it's not going to work, you guys. It's not going to work. It takes a very, very self-aware person to realize that, what, I'm doing something wrong and, I don't want to lose my relationship. But most of the time, it's not going to work because, like I said, narcissists don't see anything wrong with what they do. A lot of them, they have an attitude, okay? I'm not doing they don't see that what they're doing is toxic. So it's up to you to make the decision whether you feel you should stay with this person or not. And what I always say is write it down on paper, you guys. Write down the good qualities of this person and the bad qualities of this person. And think about your life and where you want your life to go. Can you, go the same route as this person and get to where you want to be? Or is this person holding you back? A lot of times, narcissists are very controlling. So they're not going to want to see you surpass them. Okay, they may criticize you or something like that, or give you backhanded compliments, because they get very jealous and envious if you are doing well for yourself or you're successful. The only time they'll be your cheerleader is maybe if you're making the money and it's benefiting them, okay? But when you're with a narcissist, you've really got to, you've got to be focused, and you've got to decide what your boundaries are and what you can live and what you can't live with. Like, for instance, my boundaries would be completely different from a friend of mine's boundaries. Somebody I know, they would have no problem with their partner not contacting them if they went out. I believe that a partner should touch base with you and contact you just to say, hey, I'm out, I'm okay, this and that. If somebody has a problem doing that, that raises a red flag. Like, what is the problem with communicating with your partner and letting them know that you're okay? So it depends on you and how secure you are and whether you feel you can trust that narcissist. Now, like I've said in 1,000 different podcasts, narcissists don't trust, okay? So a lot of times they're always thinking that you're doing something. That's why you can never trust them, because they always want to be one up and ahead of the game. But it's like this, you guys. Can you make a relationship work with a narcissist? If you, are willing to accept certain things that they do. Those are the people that are in long relationships with narcissists. They put up with a lot of crap, okay? They put up with a lot of crap. And the sad thing is, the more you put up with, the more that narcissist knows you have low boundaries and they have low respect for you. So, it's not a good relationship when you're with somebody who's just doing what they want and doesn't care how you feel about it. They're not respecting you. And this is something about narcissists. They don't have respect for others, okay? Because if they had respect for others, they would respect your boundaries and they wouldn't break them. But a narcissist feels entitled. They feel they can do whatever they want. Maybe it's from their childhood trauma, that need for control, or maybe they were the golden child that always was able to do whatever they want. Now they're with you and they feel they could do the same thing. Maybe the narcissist you're with has a lot of options, so they don't care because they're with you, but they know they have options if they leave you. See, this is what I tell people all the time, too, when they're talking about dating and relationships. Oh, you got to do this in the dating world. Oh, you got to do that. Oh, play hard to get. Oh, no, don't play hard to get. It really depends on who you're dealing with. If that person has a lot of options, they're going to be more independent, and they're not going to put up with somebody who puts strict boundaries on them because they don't have to. If they don't have to, they're going to go to the path of least resistance. This is what a narcissist generally does. They're going to go with what's to their best benefit with the least amount of resistance. And if you're somebody who expects a lot from a narcissist, and that narcissist knows that they don't have to stay with you, they can get something from somebody else, they are not going to put up with you, okay? A narcissist is always playing their options, okay? They feel like, well, if it doesn't work out with you, I've got, A, B, and C on the outside, I'm okay. So if they have all these other options, they're not going to treat you great. But if they don't have a lot of options, then they may be more willing to, listen to you with your boundaries. It depends on who you're dealing with, okay? And what their options are. And this is how you'll know whether you can work with that person. You've got to see, can I work with this person, or is this person independent and doesn't feel like they need me? See, a lot of narcissists, this is another reason they have options, is because that gives them the, the strength to not have to depend or be codependent on you because they have other options. When a narcissist is codependent on you, it's because they don't have a lot of options out there. So you've got to look at the whole scenario, who you're dealing with, their background, where they've been, what have they been taught in their childhood as far as relationships. Do they know how to love in a relationship? Did they come from a type of family where they saw their mother and father showed love to each other? Or was it toxic and fighting, and this is what they've seen and this is what they know, and they're not self-aware to realize that's toxic? They feel like, well, if it was good for my mother and father, it's good for me. I could call the shots. I could be the boss. I could tell you what to do. I could tell you how to, make that bed. I could tell you how to clean, that sink of dishes and stuff like that, because this is what they've seen, and they feel like, well, other people do it. Why can't I? All right. So, there's always a struggle for power in a relationship, even if it's not with a narcissist. Somebody always has a little bit more power than the other person. The person that is more independent, that, doesn't feel the need to always beg the other person, is the one who's got the power in the relationship. So when you're with somebody and you're trying to figure out, can I, make this work with this person? You've got to see, how much they need you. How much does this person need you? Do they really need you? Or are they somebody that if you really put those boundaries up, they're going to be like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. See, that's not good. If you're with somebody who's independent and feels like, what, I don't need this relationship. Yeah, I like being with you. Yeah, there's things I like about you and everything, but you know what? You're not the end all. There's always somebody else that I could go with. They're not really going to put the work in. And that's not somebody you could work with. You want somebody that feels that you are something, and yet you're worth something, and they're willing to put the work in to work with you. And if it's somebody who's narcissistic, they've got to feel like you are a good supply, and they don't want to lose you because they're not going to find another supply like you around. Okay? It's all about supply and demand, you guys, all right? Because when it comes to human beings, people are going to go where their best option is. Period, dot, end of story. People, they're not going to settle for somebody who's, got nothing going for them and does nothing and shows them no affection when they can have somebody who does. So it depends on, who's available for them and where you stand on the totem pole. And that's how you know whether, you could work with this person and this person will be all in on the relationship with you. But in order to be happy, you guys, the happiness has to outweigh the unhappiness. And if you feel like it's affecting your mental health, if you feel like you're depressed a lot of the times with this person, or you get a pit in your stomach when you see their car pull into the driveway, you've got to get out of there. And it's going to take a lot of strength, but you got to do it because you got to think about the big picture. This is what I tell people all the time. You've got to think about the big picture. Yeah, it's hard to leave someone. Yeah, it's hard to be alone. Yeah, it's hard to start over, but it's a lot better than staying with somebody another 5, 10, 15, 20 years and then realizing that you wished you had left 15 years earlier, that you wasted all of those years of your life. There's nothing worse than regretting wasting your life away with the wrong person. Believe me when I tell you, okay? So if you see that it's toxic, if you see that you're unhappy, if you see that you're depressed, you got to get out, okay? You've got to get out, and you're not going to change that narcissist. You'll never change a narcissist because narcissists don't see anything wrong with themselves, okay? This is why I always tell people, they always say, well, could I be the narcissist or something like that? If you're able to self-reflect about yourself and, be able to take ownership that you do something wrong, then you're not narcissistic as you think, because a real narcissist won't ever do that. They'll never look at themselves and say that, oh, maybe I'm the problem. No. Okay. That's why you cannot change a narcissist, because they don't see anything wrong with their behavior. They look at it like, well, they're doing what they have to do. And, that's it. It's a dog eat dog world. And, I'm just doing like what everybody else in the world is doing, getting mine. Okay. That's what they are. They're just flat out selfish. So the bottom line is, you guys, you want somebody that has a kind heart, is warm, understanding. That is so important when you're looking for a partner, okay? They don't teach you this when you're in school years ago. They'll tell you, look for somebody you have things in common. Look for somebody who makes you laugh. Look for somebody who has a good job. Look for somebody, that, is a nice person and stuff like that. But people don't look for nice people. People look for who's attractive or who's got something to offer them financially. And this is why they end up on the wrong side of the fence, because you're going for the wrong things. People that are very attractive or people that may have a lot of money, that's not going to get you far. Even if you married somebody who has money, they can make your life miserable. Trust me when I tell you, I grew up with these type of people, okay? And they're the most miserable people you've ever seen, okay? They got a lot of money and they're miserable, all right? So you want somebody that is kind, easy, and, is nice to be around. You can enjoy their company, not that you feel that tension in the air like you would with a covert narcissist that sits there with a smirk on their face or is sarcastic or rolling their eyes at you or giving you the silent treatment. I wouldn't care how much money somebody like that had. They'll make your life a misery, okay? Or somebody who's super good looking and full of themselves and always looking to flirt with, anybody out there because they need their ego fed. Who needs that either? Okay. That person like that'll make you miserable. They may be good in the sack, but that's about all they're good for. All right. We're talking, long-term life partner. The important qualities for somebody is that they have a beautiful heart and they're kind and they're there for you. Okay, so I hope that helps you. If it does, please hit the subscribe button and please share the podcast. Have a great day, you guys. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. If you guys are having a problem in your dating or relationship, or you're dealing with somebody maybe that's narcissistic, you don't know if they're a narcissist, or you're just having problems, you're in a toxic relationship, and you need some clarity on it, go to the link in the podcast description for my website where I offer email and phone coaching. If you have a quick question, just a quick question, and you want to get a video sent back to you answering your question, there's also a link there for Vizio where I will send you a personalized video answering your question. Hi, you guys. I just want to let you know that the Game Exposed now has their merchandise available. Check out the link in the bio, and you could go check it out. There's cool hoodies, cool sweatpants, cool hats. So go to the bio for the link. And also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at The Game EXP 123, and also on Instagram, The Game EXP 123. Okay? And have a great day.